and welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome back to the channel, guys. It is a very exciting time right now for us Barcelona fans, and before we get into our next game, which is a crucial one, what I thought I'd do today is bring you up to speed with some transfer news, and we do have some big stories to discuss. Starting there with Eric Garcia, we're also going to be talking about Real Betis' Emerson, Sergi Roberto's contract situation, and in particular, the big dilemma right now within the club on Ousmane Dembélé, whose contract situation is becoming quite concerning. It is all coming up. Let's get to it now. Come on. Because if we do indeed start here with Eric Garcia, and I do want to bring you right up to speed with exactly how close this deal is to finally getting over the line, because on the weekend, Pep Guardiola was very open there when speaking after he secured yet another trophy as the Man City coach. He was talking there about players who weren't getting the opportunity to play. He said, just like Eric Garcia, he said, I think about him all the time. He's one of my favourite players. He said, I would love to have 15 Eric Garcias for the way that he conducts himself, his behaviour. He said he's always thinking about the team. And then crucially, Pep went on to say, and with Eric, he's not being selected right now. He's not even been on the bench because I think he's going to move to Barcelona. He went on to say, I hope so. And last week, further talks did indeed take place between Barcelona and Eric Garcia's representatives, where, remember, all that needs to be concluded is indeed those personal terms, because Eric Garcia will sign on a free transfer after his Man City contract comes to an end. And many of us expected at this point for the deal to be all done and dusted. And although it does look right now very close, I think it is definitely going to happen. Apparently, Garcia will sign on a deal until 2026, but it does get quite interesting. Because apparently, according to reports in Barcelona right now, since Laporta has arrived as the president, negotiations have taken place a little bit differently. Because as a result of that, when those discussions took place there between Eric Garcia's representatives and the new board at the club, apparently Laporta was not willing to pay what the previous management had offered Eric Garcia. So apparently there, Laporta was saying, look, that's too much. We're not going to agree to that kind of wage. Garcia has now had to agree to a lower basic salary. He will earn less than was originally agreed there under Bartomeu, but his contract will be made up apparently of more performance-related bonuses, and that's how it should be. At the end of the day, your contract there should be determined by how well you perform, and it should be measured simply on success. And again, if true, that gives me real confidence. That is the way that we should be conducting business. I've got no doubt at all that certainly Bartomeu there was willing to hand Eric Garcia a monster contract, but the guy wants to come back. He started his career here, he went away, now he wants to return, so there's no need to be handing out a huge deal to get him here. The will is there from the player, he wants to come. So let's be sensible, and those performance-related bonuses, that's the way to go. And speaking indeed of defenders and speaking about crucial decisions coming this summer, we do now move on to Emerson, of course, the Real Betis right back, who once again this season has been in very fine form in La Liga. And of course, very recently, he played a brilliant game he did just the past weekend there against Real Madrid. And I think many people were probably surprised, if you haven't seen too much of Emerson throughout the season, surprised at the level there that he was showing. But that's what he's been doing now for a long time, since he arrived really for Real Betis. And the question will be, is he going to become a Barcelona player this summer? Now, when Laporta was first elected, I remember a video that I made there on the channel talking about his first signings, and Emerson was one of the players that straight away the management decided that yes, we want to bring him back. He is in our plans. And according there to the reliable Brazilian journalist Marcelo Bechler, nothing has changed on that, and the plan is still this summer to sign Emerson. We'd have to pay Real Betis there the remaining fee of €9 million to give us all of Emerson's rights, and he would then become a Barca player. However, there have been a few rumours in the media, though, that we could sign Emerson this summer, but once we did bring him back, we may then sell him on to get some extra revenue and to bring in some money in the summer transfer window. PSG have been very heavily linked to the fullback, but interestingly as well, Marcelo Bechler, he says that is unlikely right now, and the reason for that is, if any offer comes in for Emerson this summer, and if Barca were to agree to let him leave, any transfer fee 50% of that would go to Betis because of that part ownership deal that we originally signed Emerson on. So I think for that reason, it's unlikely there that you're going to sell him. Even if you sold him for 30 million euros, we'd only get 15 of that. So I don't really see that happening. And that begs the question, if Emerson comes back, which it looks like he will Sergi Roberto have a future at this club? Because as we have indeed discussed on the channel recently, Sergio Roberto's contract does expire in 2022, meaning that this summer he will enter the final year of his deal. And I think right now it's a very delicate situation because yes, Sergio Roberto is somebody there who come through the youth system. He's of course been part of some big moments in the Barcelona shirt and we all very much respect him. But at the same time, you look at Serginho Dest, you look at Emerson, that can be the future. Right back there, we've got two very emerging, very promising young players. And does that mean now that there's not really a need to keep Sergio Roberto on? Remember, on huge, huge wages. He is one of the biggest earners right now in the squad. And of course, the club want to try and reduce the wage bill. Now, according to MD, Barça are willing to offer Sergio Roberto a new contract, but right now, they've said, look, we will offer you a new deal. We don't want things to go sour. We don't want to push you out the door, but we will only give you a 1-year extension. They have offered in there a contract until 2023 to stay on for just 1 more year beyond that current deal. But Roberto, he's not happy with that. Apparently the player is not convinced by that. He doesn't want to renew for only 1 year. And that is going to be interesting to see what happens in the summer. Because if he doesn't want to renew for an extra year, if the club there can't come to some sort of agreement with Sergio Roberto, would you try and sell him before he can leave for free in 2022? What does the future hold? And ultimately, what is the plan that Laporta has going forward? Because with that plan in mind and with the summer quickly approaching, we do move on to the big topic that is Ousmane Dembélé, because he is yet another player whose contract expires there in the summer of 2022, meaning that this summer a big decision has to be made. Because number one, you either renew Dembélé, you either there extend his contract and then suddenly there's no concerns about his future, or you're placed in a very difficult position. Because if you can't agree a contract within this summer, that contract then is going to run down. You risk losing him the next summer for free. So really, if you can't get a deal done this summer, most likely you would have to think about selling him. And once again, Laporta is willing to offer Ousmane Dembélé a new contract at the club. Apparently Laporta there is quite a big fan there of Dembélé, although recently Ousmane did admit that no talks had taken place just yet with the new president. But here comes the dilemma. This is when I feel it's a very delicate, once again, situation. Because given the contract situation that Dembélé finds himself in, it is advantageous there to the player to have a contract running down. He knows that the club are in a bit of a desperate situation to try and renew him or risk losing him for free. So the player there has the power. And given the fact here, he has had a strong season, he has kept himself fit, he has kept himself in the team and developed there as an important player, Dembélé may apparently, when those talks take place, ask for a wage increase. Because on Monday, it has already been reported that Dembélé doesn't seem in any hurry whatsoever to extend that deal. Because like I say, the power he will feel lies with him. And apparently Dembélé there is hurt by the fact the club wanted to offload him just last summer. And apparently there, he would need convincing to stay at the club. Now, of course, right now, these are only rumours. Of course, you've got to remember as well, in the past, the Catalan media have not exactly been kind to Ousmane Dembélé. So right now, I would take all of this with a pinch of salt, but I would say this. If Dembélé feels as though he's earned an increase in salary, and look, the club do want him to stay, at the end of the day, we do want to try and keep our best players, but for me, I couldn't justify there giving Dembélé a huge deal. Because I would say to him, look, you've had a good season, we're happy with you, you've scored some very important goals, you're clearly a player there who can give us a lot looking to the future, but let's also be fair here. We paid firstly a lot of money for you many years ago, 120 million euros that it's cost to sign Dembélé from Dortmund, and not only that, but given his time on the sidelines with injury, it wasn't his fault, but we still had to pay him during that time. We still paid his wages, we've still stuck by him for all of that time. Now he is playing. Now he is giving us something on the field. But I would say to him, look, I think right now we need a compromise. I don't think you really can say that you need more money, because honestly, we've only now started seeing the Ousmane Dembélé that we signed from Dortmund, and I think it's a big situation that Laporta is going to have to handle. Of course, you want to try and keep your best players at the club, but if that agreement cannot be found, if we don't want to overpay there, given the fact we are in a financial crisis, the likes of Man United, the likes of Liverpool, they are ready to pounce this summer if that new contract cannot be agreed with Dembele. And this is going to be a very interesting situation to keep an eye on. But of course, guys, like I say, right now, all of these rumours, take them with a pinch of salt, because I think right now what we are doing is focusing solely on matters on the field. We are fighting for a title. Lionel Messi's contract, Sergi Roberto's contract, Ousmane Dembele's contract, they've all been put on the back burner. Total focus on La Liga. A huge game coming on Thursday against Granada. And of course, tomorrow, guys, all of that build-up coming up for you right here on Talk FCB and over on More Talk FCB too. I will see you tomorrow for all of that good stuff, and I thank you indeed for your excellent support. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'll see you soon. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.